Welcome to the Media Nerds Podcast. I'm Dan Vadebonker.
And I'm Kenton Larson.
Kenton, I went to see The Offspring last night.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you were going. I forgot it was last night. I went with your dog.
Oh, yeah. So with my daughter, she loved it. It was a really good concert. I was surprised at how good it was, actually. Although I have to say, it was interesting. When's the last time you went to a concert, Kenton, at the arena?
An arena Well, I've been to lots of concerts recently, but none at the arena. Okay. Bruce Springsteen a year ago.
Who opened for Bruce Springsteen?
Nobody.
See, that's the thing. There was no opener. So this concert was Bad Religion and The Offspring. And at 7:30, we were still walking. At 7:30, the music starts. And I'm like, is that the opener? And my daughter's like, is it? I said, it sounds like 21st Century Digital Boy. And it was. Oh. And they're like, oh, we got to go. Because I was really more excited to see Bad Religion than I was to see The Offspring. Because I have seen The Offspring before.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was no opener. They just got right to Bad Religion. 1 hour Bad Religion, a half-hour break, and then 2 hours of Offspring. And it was really good.
So you said there's no opener. So I guess we would call this a double headliner, right?
Oh, but they really treated Bad Religion like the opener because they didn't have the light show. They just had a screen. It was a screen behind them with like images on the screen as they're playing. Whereas like Offspring had screens and lights and explosions and inflatable skeletons breathing smoke. It was like they went all out with the show. It was really, really good.
So Bad Religion was the opening act.
Yes, they were. Yeah, they were.
But it was billed. It looked the way it was billed like double. Like they could switch it if you wanted.
It looked like one of those 90s concerts that pairs the boy bands together, right? You've seen those, Backstreet Boys, the NSYNC or whatever.
Yeah,
together, like that kind of thing. That's what it seemed like to me. But no, this was very much an Offspring concert. And I'm so like I forgot how many great songs they have with the Offspring. Like there's so many. And my daughter knew a lot of them. My daughter knew there was a lot of kids there, a lot more kids than I thought. And the other thing that I thought was really interesting about it is that, again, I saw these guys back in, I don't know, was it 98 or something like that when they came to the Convention Center in Winnipeg. It was a much smaller concert. And before, I don't want to say it's before they hit it big because they were big at that point, but before they hit it mega big, I guess, because the phenomenon that's happening now is that people are coming to the concert dressed like the white guy from Pretty Fly for a White Guy.
Sure.
And so during that song, they got a bunch of them on stage to dance like the guy in the video. And people loved it. They absolutely loved it. The whole thing was kind of structured like a sporting event. They had beach balls thrown into the crowd. They had a blimp flying around, dropping stuff. They had a t-shirt cannon. They had games for the crowd to play on the screen. Like a cup, find the ball under the cup thing. Like they really like kept the people interested in what was going on. I thought it was a great concert. And now I can't stop singing The Offspring. I just really feeling.
Oh, that's hilarious. Has the lead singer of The Offspring, has his hair fallen out yet?
He seems to still have all his hair.
Still has all the hair. I can't believe it.
I was bugging Shannon because I'm like, this guy's got to be close to 60. And she's like, he's not that old when she saw him on screen. I'm like, he's still got a full head of hair. So, and so does Noodles, by the way. Noodles was hilarious. The guitarist.
I'm just going to say, like, Billy Idol used a lot of hair gel, and it looks like look, his hair is just as nice as the day he had it transplanted. You know what I mean? Like you can see the thick. So it could be, it's harder to tell now, although you still can tell. Yeah. In the right circumstances, you can still see when that's the case.
I couldn't tell from where I was in the 300.
Wow. Section. That's pretty good. I had another question about the show. Now I can't remember what it was. Oh, well.
I guess maybe you'll remember why I tell you this. So Shannon's all about the merch. She likes to go and get a shirt or something, which is fine. I'm not really lucky. I was gonna say I'm lucky that the t-shirts were sold out in her size because the t-shirts were $65. She bought a toque, an Offspring toque with like the logo on it, $55 for a toque.
That is disgusting,
right?
That's ridiculous.
I was shocked at that. I'm like, okay, I guess like that is crazy to me. But she like, it was the only thing that was left that she could have. I'm like, all right, let me get a toque. And it's the most expensive toque I've ever bought her.
Oh, that is horrifying. That is so expensive. Like I love a good concert t-shirt. I'm a big fan of buying concert merch. But like I saw Men Without Hats a few weeks ago, and they've got the classic logo. And so you're always like, so everybody's wearing that shirt at the concert. And I have not one, but 2 shirts with the Men Without Hats logo and a shirt for their single Living in China, which, by the way, they don't play live because, well, you know, what was great in the 80s is less great now. Let's just put it that way. And so I went to the merch and I looked at it and it was so expensive. I'm like, how many shirts do I need with the Men Without Hats logo on it? And the answer is, I have enough. I don't need to buy another one for $55. So it's that same thing. Like now, if the Offspring come back, your daughter would probably go see them, but then would go and would wear the cap and would be less inclined, maybe, you hope, to buy more merchandise.
She likes, and she's like me in that she likes to get the shirt with the dates on it to prove they came to Winnipeg. And that's the other thing they did really well too, is they really played to the crowd and said they talked about Manitoba crazy and Winnipeg throughout the thing. Like it was just a really great show, I would say. Best concert I've seen in a very long time.
Wow. You're just reminding me, I have a concert t-shirt. I saw the Ramones play a farmer's field in Calgary. And yes, but way back in the day, 1993 or 94, it was like somewhere in there. And I was a big Ramones fan, and Joey Ramone even said, like, it's a pleasure to be playing a farmer's cow patty or something like that. Like they were making fun of it. And I bought a concert shirt. It's a little hoodie, and I love that shirt, but it's only got the big Ramones logo on the front, and the back does not say Canadian Tour, or I think it was called Infest. Infest. It wasn't Edge Fest. I think it was called Infest, and they were the headliner that night. So it's like, I love that shirt. I don't even wear it actually because it started to get a little thin, and I'm like, well, if I wear this, its days are numbered. But I hate the fact it doesn't have the tour date on the back. That can be a deal breaker.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so I'm with you on that one. So, but does the toque that she bought have a date?
No, it's just the Offspring logo on the back. It's a cool toque. It's got a nice design, but it's nothing that proves that we were there. But that's okay because she's got lots of video of the situation, so she's watching that back and reliving the experience.
Oh, she's actually watching it. Most people shoot video like crazy and then they go home and never look at it again.
No, she got lots of video. There was a moment where Dexter got out and played the piano. At a time, and they had smoke filled the stage, and their drummer. I can't stop talking about this concert. Their drummer is amazing. He's much younger than the rest of them. I don't know what happened to their original drummer, but they got a new drummer, and he's really good. He's like way better. Like punk rock band drummers are basically like a couple of toms and a snare and a bass, and that's it. Like it's very simple. This guy had a full like kit, and he did like a 10-minute drum solo. It was really, really cool. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to the topic at hand.
All right.
Which is what?
Concerts. No, I'm just kidding. Our topic is, by the way, we've been looking at one more thing about music. We have been talking about maybe doing more podcasts, media nerds, dealing with music.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of looking at stuff and going like, well, like there's all the controversies in music and stuff. And you're like, do we really want to, like, Tate McRae, whoever that is, spokes singer for the U.S. Olympic team, though she's from Canada, that controversy this week. And I was like, who wants to talk about that? And then I started realizing all of these protest songs are starting to come out about ICE in the United States. And I was like, that, like, I've never seen, like, we've entered a new era of protest song, I think. Yep. That could be a very interesting podcast. I'm just throwing it out there. Not for today, but another day.
One more thing about the concert. Noodles had "fuck ICE" written on his guitar.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It's a new day. It's a new day for that. And I think that's a good podcast topic coming soon.
The Offspring. Supercharged worldwide in 26. Live across North America in 2026. With special guest, Bad Religion. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
We were thinking about talking a little bit about AI after an interesting thing happened at our college.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Dan. Tell them what happened.
Well, I'm not going to get into the details. I was moderating a Q&A. It was it was a guest speaker at the college. Came in to do a talk on AI. It did not go well. They'll just say that. And anybody who was there knows what happened. Basically, the guy's talk, it was to a bunch of students who were graphic design students, basically design students whose kind of livelihood has been threatened by AI. One of the instructors were getting talking about it and saying, like, jobs in the graphic design field have been shrinking steadily over the last few years as this technology explodes. And this person was there to show how awesome this technology was and how much you could do with it, specifically related to art. And that got the crowd really rankled up. And so they booed and they told the guy he should be ashamed of himself. Like, it was not a good situation. But I just thought it was interesting that, like, this kind of stuff I'm sure is happening all over the place. This disconnect between, like, the business minds of, like, the AI is the greatest thing. It's going to allow us to do our business so much easier, and serve our customers and all this stuff. That's kind of the angle he was coming at it with, to the people who are like, this is like, job is gone now because of this thing. Like, it really is affecting people in that way, right? So that'd be interesting to talk about where we are right now, because I think, like, the wave of, like, AI is awesome is, like, cresting, and it's starting to come down now, and people are really pushing back against this technology.
Yeah, and I think I was at that lecture, but I was setting up my class during the most interesting part, which where people were, expressed their displeasure, let's say.
Yeah.
But I would also say that wasn't the only thing. The presentation, it was billed as a fireside chat, which always is not going to be as good as someone who actually has a focused story or to tell, or a presentation to show. And as a result, it was like a meandering chat as opposed to a
a focused presentation, right?
Yeah,
focused presentation.
And I think
that's what we do to students, right? We give them focused presentations every day.
It does, right? It doesn't help. Like, once in a while, it's okay to have, let's have a class discussion. That can be okay. But actually, it's not as good anymore as it once was. Like, a class discussion could carry an hour before laptops and phones. You could do an hour discussion. Yeah. Now you can do a tight 15 or 20-minute discussion without people being distracted, but you can't really do more than that. So you do need focus, and you do need a variety of media. I was just telling you how every class is kind of like, okay, there's the me element where I'll talk. There's the video element where I'll show something. There's the handout element where I'll show you what we just talked about. Then there's the question element, and sort of like whatever you mix and match as you go along. I thought the SEO, the AI chat was a little too meandery. When I left there, that was before people had expressed displeasure with the AI. It was more, when I left, I was like, I don't quite understand what this is about. It was just more confusing. But you know what? That wouldn't be the first time that I've seen a guest speaker who sometimes, guest speakers can get nervous in front of classes and students and stuff, and they can freeze, they can forget about what it was that they were there to talk about. So I don't hold that against a speaker, because at the very least, somebody who comes in to talk about their business or about communications or that stuff, at the very least, they're dedicating their time to come and talk to students, and their heart is in the right place. Yeah. I that's always what I have in mind.
The whole thing was put together with good intentions, and it's kind of like the lack of awareness of how this is effective everybody else. But I think that is happening all over the place. It's been a while since we talked about this on the podcast. Have you used AI in any new way over the last few months?
Yes. I would say, because I teach the ad class, they're I don't use AI as a matter of course throughout my day. However, it's built into things that I like, for instance, like Google AI overview. Do I use that? For sure I do, because I need to click on something to not use it. I don't feel like it, whatever. I can look past it if I don't want it, or I can look at it if I do want it.
Off. We can turn it off.
Right. So there's things like that. And even now AI is built into Photoshop, for instance. The AI is built into our email now. You can see it, and to various degrees, it can be helpful and irritating. And so we don't really have a choice in that. But the stuff we have choice over, I rarely make the choice to use AI for search. Old habits die hard, let's just say. And I haven't created that as a new habit. But as the ad instructor, I have done way more research into it in like especially over the holidays. I did a real deep dive on a couple things. One is generative engine optimization. So like search engine optimization, but for AI, like getting your brands in people's faces when they use AI. And now ChatGPT is selling ads. But they're charging Super Bowl rates, so it's not something that everybody's going to do right off the bat. But
How much?
I can't remember. It's millions
Oh,
because they're just rolling it out. It's just like, remember when Snapchat first started and it was like $50,000 for an ad, and it was just because you were the only one on there. So I think it's that kind of thing, and the prices will go down over time. But so generative engine optimization, and then my big question was like, what AI works for what? So I did a deep dive into recommendations, like which AI works for what purpose, how are advertisers using AI, and generally they're not using it for copy unless they're calling attention to the badness of it, like it's a meta. They're using it in a meta way or for generative engine optimization. So I also did some research, including New York Times Wirecutter, which is all I respect the research that they do, and sort of did a deep dive on what are people using, what AI, what is the intent of different AI platforms, and what do people use them for? So long answer, but yes, more research into it than use of.
Okay.
How about you?
I continue to use it for things like the Adobe Podcast Enhanced Speech tool, which just makes the sound better. Like I'm not using a microphone right now because I know I could put this into that and make it sound better. It's not perfect, I realize that, but it's easier to do it that way than to have a microphone, and it just allows for more flexibility. And I don't see that as being the same kind of generative AI that everyone else has talked about. Not that it matters, but I'm just trying to. I'm going to get back to that. So that I continue to use. I have a client right now that I'm producing a podcast for, and part of their the work I'm doing for them is to develop the logo for the podcast. So I'm like, okay, well, let's see what we can do with ChatGPT and Gemini. And I think Gemini is actually getting better. I read an article the other day that said that Google has more data, access to more data because it's Google. And so Gemini has quickly caught up to ChatGPT and is even surpassing ChatGPT in it's like its ability to do things. So I tried both to do this for this logo. And what I realized is that every time you tell ChatGPT you're doing a podcast logo, it's going to put an old tiny microphone in it every single time. And I said, don't put a microphone in it, and it still does. So that kind of stuff frustrates out, and it's not worth it. So what I decided to do was say, screw this, I'm going to Canva, and I'm going to use my own design skills and their templates they have on Canva, which are nice. Like they have a bunch of stuff, and you can just rewrite it. And if you like to look at it, you can put your podcast title in it, see how it looks with that font and the colors and stuff. Works well. And so I did that, came up with a couple different choices using that. Probably faster and less stressful than using AI to do that, right? So I think this idea that AI can help you do the things you don't know how to do, which I think, again, was part of that presentation. AI can help you do the things you don't know how to do. It can, but not as well as doing it yourself. It's right. So yeah, I guess that there's that, and I'm trying to think what else. I'm having difficulty, again, Gemini, ChatGPT, Copilot, the Microsoft one. I've never used Grok, although I've heard awful things about that one. What's the other one? There's another one.
Oh, I've got more. Perplexity, Comet Browser, Claude from Anthropic.
Well, Claude. I've used that one.
Oh, Super Whisper is the AI voice dictation.
What's that?
It is an AI voice dictation tool, and it cleans up filler words if you go and ah. So you might want to try that one.
I will try that one out. Yeah, that will work.
Let's see. It's my understanding. Like, I don't know. I'm assuming that you could use this for podcasting, although my research shows like it's more for email and writing dictation. But that I don't know. It sounds like it's a voice assistant as well. Then, so you mentioned Gemini. Then I think Google also has Notebook LM, and that is you dump documents into your notebook, and then you can chat about them. You can ask questions about documents, for instance. And then let's just see what else I have in my list. There's there's a bunch of chat bots for shopping as well. And then there's some weird physical AI products that you carry around on you. There's a whole category of that stuff. So like this stuff, maybe instead of getting into each of these individually, it's like this landscape is going to shake itself out, right?
Yeah.
ChatGPT is the one everybody knows.
Yeah.
They've got the brand name.
They were the Google of this category.
Right.
Google is quite quickly catching up, as I've said.
They are.
Yeah. But it's like, what else did I see with AI? I saw something else that was funny. Oh, my Alexa is now AI. So on my little speaker on my at home, and I had a conversation with it, and it was quite funny. Maybe I'll make a video and I'll insert it here. I was just trying to see what it would do, and I started talking to it. I say, Alexa, you look a lot like a coaster. What if I used you as a coaster? And then it said, well, I don't think you should do that. I don't think that would be a good idea. And it was literally trying to talk me out of putting a glass. I said, no, I've got a glass right here. I'm going to put a glass on top of you. You could be a coaster for my glass. And it was like really not wanting me to do that. It was just doing everything it could to convince me not to put a glass on top of it. It's hilarious.
It's funny, but it's also creepy. There's a creep factor there.
Yes, it is creepy too. I was having fun with it.
One of the things, actually, there was Wirecutter interviewed one of the hosts of my favorite New York Times tech podcast called Hard Fork, where it's like two guys like us, and they have lots of good-natured fun at the same time, just like we do. At the same time, they're talking about this stuff. But one of the and I can't remember which host was interviewed by Wirecutter, but he also said like the key that he uses for all of this AI stuff is a custom instructions where he said, like, where he tells the chatbot, okay, talk informally, don't give me a long preamble. I want honest feedback without praise. I want you to consider other views, and I don't want you to end with a follow-up question. Okay, those are his. And I thought, I wrote all that down because I was like, that is all really good advice about using AI. And sometimes I think that about X. It's owned by Elon Musk. Everybody's like, and it's disgusting. It's a garbage heap of trolls with blue checks. But if you don't read comments, you don't follow those, you block them as you see them, it can still be a very useful source of information. But you have to build your own guardrails. And I think AI is the same thing. You have to build your own guardrails that make it work for you.
Well, everything in that prompt just tells you like everything that it does wrong, right?
Right, exactly.
It's like, the question is, will it still do those things even when you ask it not to? Because sometimes it will. Sometimes it doesn't listen to you, right? So there's that as well. I think we're still a long way off from this being like fully integrated into our lives. I think these are all attempts to integrate AI to our lives. They are attempts to make money from it. The other one I should mention, I don't use it very often because it's expensive, but it's Otter. Otter is a transcription service. You can upload an audio file, it will transcribe it, and it will give you AI overviews, and you can do show notes from a podcast and stuff like that. It's actually pretty useful. But again, it gives you a limit, a very, very small limit as far as how much you can do in a month. And then if you want more, you have to pay for it, and it's expensive. So I don't want to pay for it. But yeah, they're all trying to make money off of this before figuring out what it can do. It's weird. Like put the cart before the horse, right? Like, they're trying to monetize this so they can continue it. And it's all an attempt to like figure out what the next big thing is so they can get ahead of it, getting in front of what's ahead. Or a crappy tagline, but that's what they're trying to do, and I don't think they're succeeding. They're just trying to push all these products at us with like, look at this, and I really don't know it. It's a very overwhelming at this point, and I'm just kind of being like, no, I'm just going to relax and not use it for a while.
Yeah, I think the battle is over young people using it who are more inclined by definition to use it. And I'd like, for instance, we have a student. I asked the class, is anybody here using Sora, Sora, for video? I'm just curious. Like, I'm not suggesting that you're plagiarizing or anything, but has anybody given it a shot to see? And we had a student who's like, oh yeah, I use it all the time. And he showed me a video It's him and another student in the class, and who you can whatever load their photos. You load your photo and their photo, and he's got his classmate performing a concert, and then he comes running out and stage dives into the crowd. And so watching it, and he showed it to me when class was over. And when you watch it, it was like, you can see the death knell for video production coming. Like, it's because I thought 90% of the video was convincing. Like, the guy playing the music on stage looked like that guy. You could have told me he was playing a concert and I would have believed it. But when the other student dives into the audience, he turns his head and he suddenly has a weird haircut. He looks younger and his head is shaped weird. And you're like, wait a sec. If it wasn't for that, it would be convincing. And I think, and I also showed the students the AI. There's an AI generated ad for Paramount Plus's ad platform.
Mm-hmm.
And as sold by Jeff Probst sells it, by the way. And when he's on Survivor and he's got nothing to do, he records promos for the Paramount Plus ad manager. And so I showed the class's promo, and then I created an AI ad, and everybody kind of just paused and went, and I did it for Red River College, RRC Polytech, but all I did was type in the website. That's it. The only thing it had trouble finding was the logo. Weirdly enough, they're like, we can't find a logo. I don't know why, because it's on there 10,000 times, but okay. Yeah. Okay, so it couldn't find that, but you just hit enter, it says generating, and then you choose a tone, and laid back, inspiring, whatever you want. What was the other? I can't remember. Anyway, you can choose the topic and the tone. It generates it, and the voiceover sounded really good. The video was not like, you're not going to win an award for video production, but it's like good, so good enough, even on a big screen when how I showed it to the class, that why would you hire somebody? And like, video production is so expensive. Why would you hire somebody to do it when there it is for free? You only have to pay for airtime. That's it.
Yeah, and it's still going to exist at the high level. Like, there's still the
Right.
Super Bowl ads that will still be shot with people or something like that. When they're spending lots of money on it, sure, they'll use real people, but advertising always goes cheap, right? They always go cheap first, cheap and fast. That's what they want the ads to be. So they're like, I've already seen ads that say AI actors. We're going to get over that, and for you to not care about that, because it's an ad, right? Who cares if it's an ad? You're just going to show a product, show a funny situation. And you can be even more creative now, because with AI, you can create any situation you want, right? It can be extremely crazy, and you can do all that stuff.
I was going to say, like, next week we're thinking about talking about Super Bowl ads.
Yeah.
There is one, and I have not seen the whole ad. I'm just going to say I've seen highlights from an ad that's going to be at the Super Bowl that uses AI to show us something. And I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say, I have not, without seeing the whole ad, I think we're going to get some blowback and some negative reaction to at least one ad that uses AI generated actors.
Okay.
So let's see.
There, I don't know what ad you're talking about, but I want to see if I can tell. I want to see.
No, you can. You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, let's leave it there. We actually have to move on because you've got a lunch date. So we'll leave the AI discussion there. All is say is still messed up, and half the people hate it, half the people love it. Nobody can agree on it.
Good evening, Mr. Hunt. You have questions. The entity has answers. But you have to let it in.
Let's finish up with some recommendations for the week. What have you to recommend, Kenton?
Oh, I got so much to read. My problem always, Dan, is there's too much good stuff out there, and I look at my big list. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to recommend something I didn't think I would like. That's always fun to recommend. HBO is now showing its latest Game of Thrones show called A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I was like, the last thing I want to see is a prequel of Game of Thrones, because I just don't like, what can this possibly give me? However, what I didn't know and what I didn't realize until I watched the first episode, each episode's only about 35 minutes long. It's hilarious. It's funny. It's like It's a cross between Game of Thrones with A Knight's Tale and even the Holy Grail.
Oh, fun.
I'll say in the first 15 minutes of the show, you're like, wait a sec, where's Sir Robin? Where's like they could live in this universe. The acting is great. These situations are hilarious. The show's not in a big hurry to get to show us to like wow us with big effects. It's about the humor and about the relationships. And the show makes fun of itself from time to time in a very effective way. And at least in the end, we're a few episodes in now, and we're starting to get some twists and some lore thrown in there, and it's got me. There's a young actor on the show who is fantastic, who's so good, and who I'm enjoying so much. I'm like, get this kid every award. This kid is fantastic. Okay, so oddly enough, I didn't think I needed a new Game of Thrones. If you told me it was a comedy, then I'd go, I really don't need a new Game of Thrones. But the tone, they walk the line between Game of Thrones tone and comedy tone, and I love it.
I never would have guessed that based on
No, I know.
the image I see online. I will recommend a Netflix series I started last week called Frontier. This is starring Jason Momoa. It's got to be a couple years old. I think this is like back when before he became Aquaman.
I heard of it. I've heard of this.
I think it feels like it was around the time like he was on Game of Thrones and he left Game of Thrones and then did other things. But what I like about this, so it's historical drama, period piece type of thing, but it's about Canada. It's about like the settling of Canada and the fur trade of Canada. Basically, the Hudson's Bay Company coming in, taking over the fur trade, dealing with the indigenous peoples and all the horrible things that happened. That's what this is. And it's really, really good. It's a very, very like authentic feeling. Like this is what really happened. Jason Momoa is this trader. So he's like this half Irish, half indigenous fur trader who's kind of built up this power in this area. And he's basically kind of butting heads with the HBC, Hudson's Bay Company people, who are basically acting like the British Army, coming in there and just feel like they rule the place. And it's just a really, really good story. There's a lot of great Canadian actors in it. I'm seeing some familiar faces from like The Expanse, which is hilarious. The guy in The Expanse who played like the evil politician guy in The Expanse is like the evil politician guy in this one as well, except it's like 1700s. It's hilarious. He could be the evil politician in any era.
Yeah.
But yeah, Frontier, it's surprisingly good. I was not expecting it to be that good. I just like that it's about Canada. I just like that. Like I want more of this kind of stuff about where we're from.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sick of American historical dramas at this point.
Yeah, I know what you mean. We're ready. We can branch out.
Yeah. We got heated rivalry and we got this, right? We still have much for the rivalry though.
Oh man, I can't bring myself to watch it. To me it's like I know Hallmark movies take place here.
Yeah.
Can I bring myself to watch it? Not yet. Not yet. I'm not ruling it out. I'm just saying I have been unsuccessful so far.
Speaking of which, I'm actually going to be watching Goon this weekend because I'm going to watch that on my other podcast on Atlanta Watch Party because we've just been going back and forth. And there's a hockey movie shot in Winnipeg, and it's a fantastic film. So I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, my friend Steve Sim is the goalie in that film.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. Well, he doesn't. I don't think he has any lines, but you see him on the bench. You see him playing like he's in the thick of it. You see his face for sure. I can't remember if he had any lines, but I legitimately enjoy that film.
Great.
Yeah, it's a good film.
Okay, that's gonna do it for this episode of the Media Nerds. I'm Dan Dadabonker.
I'm Kenton Larson. Don't let the door hit you on the ass.